Hello and welcome to Odds on La Liga Matchday 26. What a title race. All three clubs won last weekend, Barcelona, Real Madrid and Atlético. And also we enjoyed a great semi-finals in the Copa del Rey. Alvaro Romeo, hello.
Hello, Edu, and what a weekend, because the 6 teams that are involved in European football this season, Atlético, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, Real Sociedad and Betis, those 6 are involved. In Europe, they are playing against each other, and I think that it's going to be a great weekend. There has been a little bit of controversy because Antony's red card in the previous game was overturned, and therefore he will play against Real Madrid, and believe me, Antony is making a difference for Betis. I think that we are privileged to be enjoying a title race like this because, not only the teams that are involved in the title race are good, but also they are exciting to watch and they produce phenomenal games. Like the game we could see last Tuesday between Barcelona and Atlético de Madrid, 8 goals in totals with a couple of comebacks as well. I'm liking what I see, and I'm really looking forward to match day 26 in La Liga.
Then let's analyze everything, guys. As always, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And the first game is a scary one on Friday. Valladolid, Las Palmas. Scary because it's, of course, to avoid relegation. It's impossible for Valladolid, getting worse and worse, as you saw probably, Alvaro, in San Mamés, humiliated 7-1, 6 consecutive defeats. Is very important, though, for Las Palmas. They played a good game, but lost against Barcelona, and they are level on points with the relegation zone. There is only 1 point in the last 7 games.
Yeah, this is a must win for Las Palmas, and I believe that they can get something out of here. Not that they are going to win easily, because Las Palmas, as you said, they are in a very bad run, but I saw them being competitive against Barcelona. I also believe that the return of Fabio Silva is going to be very important for them, because Fabio Silva, from all the strikers they've got, is one of those who could hit double figures in a season. So with Fabio Silva just looking for the space behind the full-backs back and the centre-backs back, he can make a difference as well. And at the end of the day, they are playing against Valladolid. Look, Valladolid could be bad and still have the resilience and the belief, right? The pride to stay in La Liga, the pride to win every game. I don't know if Valladolid has lost that a little bit. I saw them against Athletic Bilbao, and they conceded 17 shots on target, which was the highest shots on target tally for over a year in La Liga. 17 from Athletic Bilbao, who beat them 7-1. Valladolid has suffered 6 defeats in a row, and in those 6 games they accumulated an aggregated scoreline of 22-3. 3 goals scored, 7 goals conceded. 22 goals conceded. In this current situation, and given the numbers and given the precedents, it's very difficult for me to believe in Valladolid at this stage, because they simply don't have the belief. I mean, I'm sure that they will win 1 game from now until the end of the season, yes, but I'm not here to guess which one is going to be, because that's going to be a random one. I really believe that, and I believe that Las Palmas still has something to play for. Valladolid is pretty much relegated, and that belief, that need to win from Las Palmas is going to impose itself. That's my belief. And Fabio Silva is back, and he's important. So a draw, no bet for Las Palmas here, 173.
Indeed, a key game for Las Palmas especially. Well, next game is Girona, Celta Vigo, both trying to reach the European spots, and suddenly Celta had the upper hand. They are only 3 points away from Betis. Absolutely safe. Great season. They beat Osasuna. So 7 points out of the last 9. And Girona is kind of the opposite, Alvaro. 3 consecutive defeats. They played a decent game at the Bernabeu, but was not enough. And we thought they were going to improve without Champions League, but it's not happening.
No, it's not happening. That's for sure. I think that at the start of the season, we could put many caveats to Girona's performances. Number 1, many players left. And number 2, the new players were adapting. Number 3, there were many injuries. Number 4, Girona was juggling between competitions, Champions League, Copa del Rey, and domestic La Liga football. But, there is no excuse anymore. I mean, Girona is simply not a well-functioning machine right now. And, on the day they can win, yes, of course, but, they are not significantly good at anything right now. Not even at home, at Montilivi. I'm checking their numbers. And Girona at home, they got 19 points, so they will be 11th on a home hypothetical table, and away from home they are 12th when it comes to the results as well. Nothing that shines in Girona right now. For me, one of the biggest problems is that they went from having a striker who scored over 20 goals last season, like Artem Dovbyk, to replacing him with Danjuma, whose best maybe is past, and Abel Ruiz, a footballer who has never hit over 10 goals in a season. So that was always going to be difficult. But yes, I think that on the day, Girona can be good and they can score. And also they've got all the players back because Ángel Herrera is back too, and Ángel Herrera makes a massive difference for Girona. And Celta, yes, the usual. Celta at home, they are really good. Away from home, they've been poor. And the results say so. But for this game, I could go for the goals market. I think that goals can happen. None of the defenses are particularly great. So I think that a game at Montilivi with something to play for at the end of the day, yes, because both sides, they can still set their eyes in Europe, even though it's not going to be easy. But when we talk about Europe, we talk about the 6th spot, because the 5th one is it's already unreachable. I mean, between Villarreal, number 5th, and the number 6th on the table, there is already quite a gap. But there are a few teams who can reach the number 6th position, that's for sure. And Girona and Celta could be one of those, even though I find it unlikely, to be honest. Because Betis' improvement and Sevilla's improvement, I think that is going to make those two sides, or these two sides, Girona and Celta, not to play in Europe the next season. Anyway, I think that goals will happen. Over 2.5 goals, 183. Otherwise, I think that Girona can get something just because they are playing at home. Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Girona, meaning that if they draw, you suffer half a lose, and if they win, you win. It's a possibility. That will pay 192, but I prefer the goals market over 2.5 goals, 183.
Rayo Sevilla is the next one. Rayo in the 6th spot. The last one giving option to Europe. Depends, of course, of what the Spanish clubs do in the European competitions. Back-to-back defeats for Rayo Vallecano, 1-0 against Villarreal and Barcelona. For Sevilla, Alvaro, I read the other day, I was not aware that they haven't won back-to-back games in all the season. They were this close to do it against Mallorca, but they drew in the very last minute.
Well, yeah, and that has stopped them from being more competitive. With Sevilla, little by little, we see that the manager is finding the best possible lineup, especially up front. I think that Vargas's signing in winter was a good one. 𝗀𝗵𝗍𝗀 is playing well. The team has the capacity to win games because they've got quality in the team that is showing little by little. And I think that in the second half of the season, Sevilla is going to manage to finish in the top half of the table, that's for sure. I also believe that the likes of, for example, Isaac Romero or Saúl, they are giving something extra to Sevilla. But Rayo Vallecano, they have been better than them, and we have to say that. The only problem for Rayo is that Rayo is a very good team at home, by the way, but the only problem for Rayo is that 3 of their best players, in my opinion, Easy for sure, De Frutos, who is very important, and 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲, who offers an option up front, even though, I think that 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 is clearly the first choice striker, altogether with Álvaro García. But these 3 players are out, and especially I'm a bit worried about Easy and De Frutos not being there, because the energy that Easy offers to the team is contagious. And, Rayo cannot do without losing so many good players. It's true that there are still some good ones on the pitch. But anyway, that's going to be difficult or replacing those footballers is going to be difficult for Íñigo Pérez. But anyway, for this game, I expect goals as well. So I think that the goals market pays decently. Sevilla has been improving this season, little by little. They've got a very good scorer like 𝗀𝗏𝗍𝗀𝗏. And Rayo Vallecano at home, they can score at least one. So I'm going to go for over 2 goals in this game, 170.
Let's move to the next game. We have Betis Real Madrid, one of the best games in this weekend. And attention to Real Madrid, because in the last visits to the Benito Villamarín, they couldn't win. Actually, the last two games were draws, usually low-scoring games between these two teams, and Ceballos, former Betis player, is injured, so Real Madrid cannot use him also for the Atlético de Madrid tie in the Champions League. They are coming from back-to-back wins against Real Sociedad in Copa del Rey and Girona, and also Ancelotti rested many players, Alvaro, in that Copa del Rey tie. For instance, 𝗵𝗵𝗏, who should be back for this key game. Very tricky one with Betis in form, probably in the best moment of the season. Seventh, playing Europe, as you said, as well, and with this caveat of Anthony, who is giving a lot to the team. He was shown a red card in the previous game, but he's going to be able to play.
He's going to be able to play. I'm not a massive fan of overturning red cards, because especially if the red card is fair in a way, or at least is down to interpretation. I don't think that it was a scandal that Anthony got a red card in the previous game, really. But anyway, this has been overturned. So, Real Madrid will have to be worried of Anthony, who has scored 3 goals and he has given 2 assists in La Liga already, which probably those are better numbers than the ones that he got for Manchester United in the last year in the Premier League. Vitor Roque may be on his way out, nothing that will bother Pellegrini too much ahead of this game, really. But having Vitor Roque would have been useful for Pellegrini anyway to rotate and all that, especially when the season gets steeper and Betis is involved in European football, which will be the next week, by the way. But Betis is in a good moment with Anthony and 𝗍𝐿 creating a very good society. I think that 𝗍𝐿, I spoke about him last week, he's a very interesting player too, and 𝗍𝐿 can give trouble to Lucas Vázquez if he happens to be the right back against Real Madrid. If Fede Valverde is the right back, then it's a totally different story. But yeah, Betis can be a good team. They are a good team. They are improving, and they are quite solid, and they've got technical players. But Real Madrid is in the best moment of the season. This has to be said. I know that Ceballos is out. Bellingham is suspended as well. So most likely, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Modric, 2 of those 3 will be starting. I don't understand. I never understood it. But anyway, Edu, you are a Madridista, and probably you understand this better than I do. But why we think that Real Madrid is in trouble when Modric plays? I don't think so, personally. I think that Modric offers his quality in the difficult games and in the easy ones. I think that, yes, he can play only 75 minutes in the big games, but still, he is as good as Dani Ceballos, in my opinion. I don't know why sometimes we are just overruling the footballer. But, this game is going to be interesting. 𝗵𝗵𝗏 is going to be the main asset of Real Madrid. He has already 20 goals involvement in La Liga, 17 goals, 3 assists. Vinicius is looking good, even though he's not scoring a lot in La Liga this season. Vinicius is looking great as well. So I could go for the following. Individuals market, the one that I like the most is Vinicius to score or assist. Just because it pays almost 2, score or assist. So I got 2 possibilities of him cashing money for me. But otherwise I like over 3 goals, because Real Madrid is scoring a lot. Betis are playing at home. I expect Real Madrid to score more than Betis, I have to say, because Real Madrid is in the moment of the season. So over 3 goals in this game is my favorite bet, 192.
Well, a very tricky game, this one, for Real Madrid. Next one is also very tricky for Atlético de Madrid, playing at home against Athletic, because Atlético de Madrid had a very tough game in the middle of the week against Barcelona, probably tired after that 4-4. What a crazy game with Sorloth again scoring in the very last minute. And Athletic, Alvaro, of course, they can be very, very dangerous. The last defeat was the 6th of October against Girona, but also coming to the Metropolitano with a really important absentee.
Metropolitano, the very big absentee, well, because he's sick for this game, which will lessen Athletic de Bilbao a lot. Sancet is not, and of course Sancet is the one who makes the difference for Athletic, and unfortunately he won't be there. Sancet will be replaced most likely by a player like Berenguer, for example, who always as a number 12 footballer offers a lot, that's for sure. But just not having Ollán Sancet is going to be difficult to replace, that's for sure. But this game is a very good one. Simeone, Athletic de Bilbao at Metropolitano in the league normally struggle a lot, but last season, for example, they managed to knock out Atlético de Madrid in the cup, and they beat Atlético at San Mamés, but then at Metropolitano again, it's a different story. Atlético is going through a good moment. I think that no manager in Europe is making more the difference with his substitutions than Diego Simeone, and this is statistically is something that you can prove it. I mean, the amount of goals that Atlético de Madrid has scored in a stoppage time this season is incredible, with Sorloth and Correa being the options, when Julian Álvarez and especially Griezmann are tired. Atlético is looking very composed to me right now, and Athletic de Bilbao too. I mean, as you say, they haven't lost a game since October in the league. Now the season is going to be more complicated for both, because Atletico will play against Real Madrid the next week in the Champions League. Athletic de Bilbao will play against Roma at Roma, and that's something that will affect them definitely for the next week. But for this game, look, I think that both teams can score, and I think that the goals market pays decently. For example, over 2 goals, which is something that I do believe that will happen, pays 163. Let's don't forget that Athletic de Bilbao, yes, it was Valladolid, but the other day they scored 7. They scored 7 against Valladolid, and quality goals as well, because Ollán Sancet's goal, who is not going to be available for the game, was phenomenal. But what about Nico Williams' goals? They were incredible too. So the quality is there. Athletic can score goals in a counter-attack. Atletico de Madrid will certainly manage to put in danger Unai Simon's goal. So I'm going to go for over 2 goals. I'm quite optimistic, as you can see, for this weekend. I think that goals will happen in a few places, in a few grounds, and this is one of them. Over 2 goals, 163.
Probably not in the next one. Leganés Getafe, south of Madrid derby, very important one, especially for Leganés, 1 point above relegation, only 2 points in the last 5 games. Getafe 7 points above relegation, lost to Betis, destroying their great run in 2025.
Yes, and I think that they deserve to lose that game, to be honest. But Getafe is better than Leganés, that's for sure, and if Getafe knows how to do something with expertise, is getting at least 1 point of these encounters. Leganés has been winless in 6 La Liga games. They have drawn lately in the last month against Athletic de Bilbao and against Alavés, but they lost to Rayo, they lost to Real Madrid, they lost to Valencia, and they lost to Real Sociedad. The last defeat against Real Sociedad was a bit concerning for the manner. They lost 3-0, and by the 12th minute they were already trailing 1-0 because Zakarian scored very early for Real Sociedad. It's like Leganés has lost a little bit of competitiveness. I am a believer in Borja Jiménez. I think that this is a good manager, and a manager that will be soon in a better side. But Leganés has to wake up, and Getafe is already awake, and Getafe has been awake the whole season, and they are better right now. Simple as that. I know that they lost against Betis, but before losing against Betis, Getafe accumulated 10 points out of 12. So I'm going to back them here, because overall I think that Getafe is a better side, and they have the know-how to negotiate this kind of game. So draw no bet for Getafe will be my pick here, 174.
And the other key game for the title race is Barcelona Real Sociedad. Here I can see Barcelona really favorite for the bookies and for myself, 1.3. Only to win for Barcelona. Great numbers in 2025 in La Liga, especially. They suffered though against Las Palmas, and also they put a lot of intensity in the games against Atlético de Madrid, so perhaps the players are a little bit tired. In La Liga is 5 consecutive wins. Barcelona, of course, remember, playing against Benfica. Real Sociedad also put a lot in the Copa del Rey, and they are putting a lot, I imagine, Álvaro, against Man United. So this is the less important game for them. I cannot see in my dreams Real Sociedad getting points from Montjuic, to be honest.
The thing is that Real Sociedad, whenever they are competitive against Barcelona, tends to be in their home ground, not at Barcelona, that's for sure. Not that Barcelona is winning easily every game. Against Las Palmas, they suffered. I remember them beating Rayo and Alavés with a few problems. I'm talking about 2025. So Barcelona is also sometimes suffering a little bit. I think that some teams, they have found a way to attack their high line as well. And we could see that with Atlético Madrid the other day. They created a few chances and they scored a few goals just doing the right runs at the right time. And I'm sure that 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏 is training that as well, just to inflict pain to Barcelona. But the problem with the Real Sociedad is that I think that they are a little bit toothless. Look, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is not going to reach the scoring heights that I thought he was going to score this season. After being the Euro winning goal scorer for Spain, I thought that he would have like a booster of confidence ahead of this season and maybe net around 14 to 17 goals in all competitions. I don't think that that's going to happen exactly. And Real Sociedad is struggling because a little bit to find the best possible number 9. And if you play against Barcelona, you'd better have some cutting edge up front. And Real Sociedad right now doesn't have it, even though I have to say that 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, for example, was impressive again against Real Madrid. Probably you saw that game, and I think that 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 was good. But I think that Barcelona is going to win this one. Real Sociedad is also missing for this game 𝗍𝗏𝗏, who normally plays well against Barcelona, 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 in defense is an important footballer too. Barcelona will rotate a little bit, thinking on the Champions League. The rotations mainly come in midfield because Hansi Flick is spoiled with choices in there. Maybe we see again, I hope so, Marc Casadó, maybe Gavi or Fermín playing. That make Barcelona worse. The only footballer who is a must to have on the pitch right now in midfield is Pedri. But yeah, I think Barcelona is going to win this one. They are playing at home, and I will go for Barcelona to win and over 2.5 goals in that game. It pays 173. So basically I'm gonna hope that the Barcelona from December 2024 or November 2024 comes back. Not the Barcelona that has been winning 1-0 at home, but the Barcelona that we are used to. And when it comes to the individual market, I'm gonna go for Lamine Yamal to score or assist. That pays 183, and I like it a lot as well because Lamine Yamal, at the end of the day, he's such a generator of chances that many of them are likely to end up in a goal.
Mallorca Alavés, Álvaro. Here Mallorca fighting for Europe, level on points actually with the European zone thanks to the draw against Sevilla. They are favorites to beat Alavés. That defeat against Espanyol, Álvaro, was very painful. Is the kind of defeats that send you directly to Segunda División. It's 2 points in the last 5 games.
Well, that happens when you sack a manager like Luis García Plaza, who knew what to do.
It, eh?
Yeah, but we say that. Not that Alavés was particularly entertaining, but they are not here to entertain. They are here just to make sure that they stay in the top flight. And right now, Alavés' run is very concerning. I think Mallorca is the main favorite for this game. Look, Mallorca went through a rough patch at some point this season. We have to say that because before their good run, right now they accumulate 5 points in 3 games, which is great. But they drew against Osasuna, which is fine. They beat Las Palmas because they had to, and they did it. And they drew at Sevilla last Monday, 1-0. I can see that Mallorca has got their act together after suffering, and this has to be said, 5 straight defeats. Mallorca is back, and they are better than Alavés. Alavés looks to me wounded. They are so dependent on Quique Garcia, who's having a good season. But right now, I wouldn't say that they are doomed, but if you ask the president of Alavés to go back to November 2024 or December and make a decision on keeping Luis García Plaza or not, he would have probably stick to the manager they have. They didn't, and now they are paying for that in a way. So I'm gonna go, and this is probably my highest bet of the whole show altogether with the ACCA, for Mallorca to win. It pays 2.25.
Let's go to the next one. Is Osasuna Valencia. Here the important one is Valencia. Alvaro trying to leave the relegation spots, lost to Atlético de Madrid, and it's very difficult to be optimistic when they are outside. Mestalla is the only team without a win away this season in La Liga, 5 draws. And it's not easy to win in El Sadar, like Real Madrid or Reino de Navarra, like Real Madrid or Barcelona now, for instance.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think that naturally Osasuna is a favorite for this game, but Osasuna, the run is not great either. I mean, they got one in the last 5. Valencia has similar numbers in the last 5 games, we have to say. And I think that Valencia is improving gradually. Then the experience of 𝗲𝗏𝗏, who is finally back for good, is helping a lot. 𝗲𝗏𝗏 is a footballer who accumulates more than 300 games for Valencia, and that in these kind of situations makes a difference to have a captain like that. One thing that concerns me a little bit about Valencia, and I think that they have improved under Corberán, I really think so, but Mamardashvili's form lately has been a little bit poor. I don't know what you think, Edu, but the goals that Mamardashvili has conceded lately, like for example against Atlético de Madrid, are goals that he could have avoided. And for Valencia to stay in La Liga, they need their goalkeeper to be more alert and more efficient and effective. But anyway, this game is a tricky one for me, to be honest. I wouldn't put my money here just for one reason, because I think that Valencia and Osasuna have similar trajectories right now. If you see what they did in the last month, their point tally is very similar. And I know that Osasuna plays at home, that Real Madrid struggled to win here, but we also have to say that struggled to get a result here. We also have to say that Real Madrid was reduced to 10 men, and still with 10 they were better than Osasuna. And, I think that Valencia is getting better. So this game, in the same way that I told you, look, Mallorca, Alavés, I think Mallorca to win is a good money at 2.25. In this one, I'm going to go for a pass. I think that the options are there, of course. Backing any side to win is good, but Osasuna is not going through the best moment of the season either. So this game is a pass for me.
Okay, Álvaro, let's move to the next one. We have Villarreal Espanyol, the last game. Villarreal trying to get into the Champions League spots. Perhaps the 5th spot is enough. Really favorite to beat Espanyol, and they are in good form. Espanyol, on the other hand, they got a massive win in Vitoria. Was the first win away of the season, and they are in great form. Only 2 defeats in the last 10 games.
No, Espanyol is doing very well. I could see that a few weeks ago against Athletic Bilbao, how they fight, how they press up front, how much they believe. I thought that this side were going to be worse off at this stage of the season, but they have been clearly better than the likes of Alavés, Valladolid. And right now they are only 3 points away from Getafe, which is, quite something, I would say. Of course, they still have to collect around 10 points to feel themselves saying that with 10 points out of 39 roughly, or maybe 12 points, gonna be fine. So I think that they are on the way to make it, but they are playing against Villarreal, and I'm sorry about Villarreal this season. When they are good, they are very good. And the last time they lost the football game, Villarreal, was a while ago, on the 13th of January, they lost at Real Arena 1-0. But before that, after that, they've been competitive. They are not involved in European football. Yes, they have had casualties, and for example, Gerard Moreno is not ready for this game. But I think Villarreal has a life after Gerard Moreno, with 𝐬𝐭𝐴 scoring goals. He's actually bagging quite a lot this season, we have to say. 11 in total. And Villarreal scores goals. They are entertaining, and at home they are quite safe. they have scored 48 this season. And I think that their opponents for this game, Espanyol, are going to find it very difficult. So I think that goals will happen in this game. And this bet is quite ambitious, but I have a lot of belief in it. Villarreal to win and over 2.5 goals in this game. That pays 2.0. Villarreal style, winning, scoring goals, and maybe receiving goals, but winning. Or otherwise, this is a slightly safer bet, but I like it too. Asian handicap -1 for Villarreal. It pays 168 right now, and that will be my pick.
Well, Alvaro, remember that everyone can also post their tips in Oddspedia and get the opportunity to participate in our tipster competitions and, of course, participate in Rivals, our custom tipster competitions where you can challenge your friends. Alvaro, let's go with your safe bet.
Yeah, it is Asian handicap -1 for Barcelona, 138.
And your ACCA?
My ACCA is Atlético de Madrid, Athletic de Bilbao, over 2 goals. Barcelona to win and over 2.5 goals in their game. Asian handicap -1 for Villarreal. Altogether 473.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks, everyone, and good luck with La Liga. Thank you, Alvaro. Bye-bye.